What's going on, Midlothian? Seaman City Chatter Podcast. We're back at you. Week number 2, second season. Feeling good. To my right, as always, John Opoka, live from the Opoka Palace.
Hey guys, how are you?
To my left, Tiffany. And that's all I'm ever going to say is just Tiffany, because that's what the signs always said, and it's just you're Tiffany.
Yeah.
Like Prince, right?
Hey,
Just
perfect.
but one name.
Eventually it'll evolve just to a symbol. It won't even be.
Yeah, just the artist formerly known
Well,
as Tiffany.
I can already see where Ashley's going with this symbol.
And we're joined tonight by you-know-who, Captain America, Chris Douglas, and it's his birthday today.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So everybody out there in Midlothian land, make sure you wish Captain America a happy birthday when you see him this weekend. Is there anything going on this weekend for your birthday?
Oh yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, we're having a little get together. I'm sure y'all got the invite.
Okay, I was really just tricking you.
Okay.
Because I didn't know I couldn't remember if I read it, if it was a surprise party or.
If it is, it's the worst surprise party.
Okay, so you know what? Everybody's going. I mean,
Yeah.
we had location change, but now we got it set up.
That worked out. Michael Hill with Union 28 stepped in last minute because I was out of it. Susie, my wife, her and a good friend of ours, Toddy, came together like, hey, we're gonna throw him a party kind of deal. But let me know about it because you cannot surprise a cop. I'm sorry, it's too hard to try to hide stuff, and it's really
It would
hard.
be real fun.
If you can, I would be amazed.
I mean, I know you're trained observers.
First of all, I think
I
there's
ask way too many questions. I observe too many things. I'm just.
But half the town's invited.
But no is an answer.
It
It's a
seems
complete
like it.
So I mean,
So
there's
it's like,
no
hey,
way.
I'm not even gonna
way.
bother. She's like, I'm not even gonna bother trying to surprise you. We are throwing you a party. Here's where it's gonna be, and I'm just gonna start inviting people. You let me know. Look at the list. Let me know if there's anybody extra. So I've had hands off because I don't like stressing about it. I've never celebrated my birthday. I've never had a party.
That's 40. It's a big deal.
I'm a simple fella. For my wife, for my kids, that's one thing. For me, every single year, it's pretty much the same thing. I get a nice steak at the house. I like to relax with the family.
Right.
Nice new bottle of whiskey and a good cigar. Sit on my back patio, watch the sunset. That's it. Listen to some tunes. Every single year is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, well, I've checked the Facebook invite, and it's grown and grown and grown and grown. I mean,
People are inviting
let's put it this way: Union 28 is going to have a good night.
I haven't looked at it. I know Michael, like I said, he stepped in because the original location that said, yeah, let's do it here, came back a few days later and was like, oh man, we goofed, we double booked, we have a wedding that day. So it's like, hey, not a big deal.
Hey, you could be wedding crashers. That'd be fun.
See, I thought about that. Michael stepped in and said, hey, do it at our place.
Yeah.
We'll have, your own private tents.
Oh yeah.
And heaters if necessary, depending on what the weather is. So it'll be covered. So rain or shine, it's going down. We'll be covered. And so
It's right where it needs to be.
Right where it needs
in the
to be.
middle of town. Right in the middle of
I feel
Midlothian.
better there.
Smack in the middle of
I feel
town.
better there, having it there. So
It'll be fun. It'll definitely be fun. So what's been going on with you, man? It's been about a year since you've been on the show, and a lot of things, from new opportunities and
Cop of the year?
Hollywood, Cop of the Year.
Yeah,
Do we say Cop of the Year? Is that
Is it Cop of the Year? What's
Officer of the Year.
Officer of the Year?
I know.
Yeah.
Cop is offensive to some.
Well, actually, I was
Year.
very fortunate to share that honor. First ever that there was actually 2 Officers of the Year, myself and Officer Vincent. Great guy. He works in our CVE program, our commercial vehicle enforcement. So the guys that stop the 18-wheelers and stuff like that. I've known Chris Vincent. I've known him my whole career. He actually was one of the DeSoto PD plants as well. So we all came down the same year. So
Right.
to share that honor with him is amazing. So
when did you change roles? Has it been a couple years now, or
It's
with times just kind of rolls together?
a little over a year, so a year and a few months.
Okay, so
Change.
crime prevention and community outreach.
Yes.
You get to
So I'm in the CAT unit. If you see
you
the cars,
the
you
CAT
can't,
car.
can't miss our
You
car.
can't-
Oh, did you
Yeah,
get to
you-
go pick it out? Like, how's
No.
that? Tell us how that
I didn't watch the last time he was on. It was confiscated.
Yes. So both cars, we have two of them. I have the Charger, and my partner, Officer Hughes, he drives the Challenger. That one's been around a while. Both are seizure vehicles, so take it from criminals and repurposed to do some good. So mine actually sat in the impound lot for about 2 years before we finally got awarded it. And so yeah, we're in the CAT unit, CATT, Community Action Through Teamwork.
And then, so for people that think you guys just get to drive around in cool cars and
You go have Starbucks with people.
and hang out with the kids, what do you guys do? I mean, what's your day to day? What's the outline of the
you're
job?
like legit community policing.
Yes.
Like that is like the textbook answer.
It is a legit program. I mean, we're primary crime prevention officers. So we're only two of about 200 certified crime prevention officers in the entire state of Texas. But obviously what we do mostly of is the community outreach stuff. So with that, yeah, we get to, the cool cards, they're actually assigned to us. We get to take them home. What we do on a day-to-day basis differs. So we don't have just a standard, hey, you're going to do this, really. So our hours change. We can pretty much, for the most part, make our own hours just because it's not your typical Monday through Friday, because there's a lot of times we'll do events or some type of activity in the evening, on a weekend or something like that. Or some people will call us after hours. So, with this gig, we actually have our phones on us pretty much all the time, because anybody within our department, like our admin, up to citizens, we'll give out our personal numbers. He pays half our phone bill for this purpose. It says, hey, we've got this person that needs a resource, maybe some type of emergency housing, or they're a victim of domestic abuse. They need some emergency services, homelessness to, hey, they need food, they need this. So we work with a ton of local charities, nonprofits, and organizations around here. Manor House is a huge organization here in our own city of good old Midlothian that does amazing things, and we'll coordinate with Sissy or some other individuals over there to, hey, we got this individual that just called us, because they feel comfortable with us. We build these relationships, so that's our primary objective, is to go out in the community and to build and strengthen relationships, which I wish every department nationwide or worldwide had this type of program, right? Especially in today's society, it's absolutely necessary to go out there and let people see what we're really about. Outside the standard uniform and the patrol cars, like, say, we're people just like y'all. We're human beings. We have a heart. We're not robotic. We have compassion. We want to genuinely help. You ask 98% of the officers anywhere, I mean, they generally want to help and have a significant positive impact on their community. Here, we're so fortunate with Midlothian. I've told many people this many times. We're a unicorn of a city, meaning that when I first, I was just telling y'all before, this July, I'm coming up on 20 years, and I come from a family of nothing but law enforcement, military turned law enforcement. My old man's been an officer for like 31 years down in San Antonio. The golden rule when I started was you don't live where you work. I'm telling you right now, probably
more modern thinking, I guess.
I've been close to half of the officers that work here live here. I'm talking grew up here. My partner, Curtis Scott Hughes, he grew up here. I mean, lived here since he was a little kid, in the 80s, mid 80s when they moved here. I think he was 9 or 10 at that time. So many officers grew up here, graduated here, and they're still officers.
Right.
And even my old man, after a few visits up here, was like, man, Midlothian is one of those rare exceptions. So when you have that type of community that supports you, that understands you, that you have this type of relationship and this type of rapport with, it makes everything so much easier. So when you build that relationship, you build that trust, people know you. It doesn't matter if I'm on duty or not. People know who I am. They know who a lot of our officers are, no matter what, because of the relationship that they built. So we get to go out there and build on that, not with just the residents, but with our businesses. We do a lot of work with our businesses, a lot with our churches. We're both part of the Ministry Alliance that has various different spiritual, leaders, pastors all over the community that come together once a month. We have lunch, we fellowship, talk about, hey, we've got this program going at our church. We've got this one. If they need stuff, hey, we're in need of 20 new chairs. Okay, we all come together and help them out.
Right.
So we get to kind of go expand beyond the typical realm of policing and say, hey, look, we've got resources over here. We work a lot with Bridges here in the city. Matter of fact, we're working with them on the second resource fair in April. And basically that's having every resource you can possibly think about in Ellis County come together at the conference center. And you just a big meet and greet. Hey, this is who we are. This is what we're about. This is what we have to offer. So everybody gets to, market themselves. Network. Thank you. Everybody gets to network and kind of come outside their bubble and say, man, I didn't know you existed. I didn't know you existed. And you're right.
Would it be a prerequisite for to perform your exact job to live in Midlothian? I mean,
it's not
community outreach.
Everybody does.
You would kind of just for not to be a police officer in the city of Midlothian, but community outreach and.
It definitely helps. I will say it definitely can't hurt.
Because I mean, it's your community as well.
So,
it's your job.
and everybody understands that. So, again, with myself and Hughes, we're both residents here. We both work here.
Right.
Our families are here, going to school here. So, we are so dedicated, and people see that, and understand it even better because of all those factors that it just shows our commitment. Because this is very much our community,
Exactly.
So even, officer being set aside, I'm a resident here. I'm a husband here. I'm a father here. I'm a friend here. I'm a follower of Christ here. So all those contributing factors, really help do what I do. On top of, surprisingly, even with all the cool stuff, getting to go out and talk to people and do all these cool things and have the cool cars, you'd be surprised how many officers don't want to do this. And it's not that they're nothing negative as far as, they don't want to deal with the public or, and I don't mean that in negative context, but you really have to have a passion to serve and really have to be able to talk to people, especially for lengthy periods of time. You have to be a real people person.
Right.
And our officers, they're all phenomenal. They're all great. And I truly, truly mean that. But everybody has their niche. A lot of officers say, hey, I just want to do traffic. Hey, I want to do drug enforcement. Hey, I want to do canine. Hey, I want to do drone. Or I want to do that on top of their primary function. So when they talk to people, they're polite, they're cordial, they're professional. But it's just, hey, I'm here to take a report, and we can interact a little bit here. But boom, I need to move on to the next thing.
You have to be willing to have a coffee stop, a literal, I've put in my order for coffee and I'm thinking to grab it, turn into a 20-minute
Yes.
sit and chat.
Pretty much, not even that. I almost any given day, Curtis and I will be out and about in the community, and we can talk. We can be at one location literally for hours, just because we're there for one reason. Well, we do a lot of business contacts. That's like one of the things we make sure we do. Numerous business contacts throughout the city throughout each week, because we do a weekly report to our lieutenant to say, hey, look, this is everything we've done, and whatever programs we're working on, whatever organizations we're working with, this is what we're doing for that particular week. So we make sure we get in X number of business contacts a week, just to say, hey, how you doing, yada yada. And then while we're there, we take that opportune time to say, hey, how's your security? Because again, our primary function, we're crime prevention. So what kind of cameras do you have? What kind of lighting do you have? Here's our suggestions from a crime prevention officer side, while we're again building this relationship. So we can talk to one person, and any given day, for example, yesterday, or the day before, I think it was, I went up to Kroger and talking to somebody, and then I get done talking with that person after 20, 30 minutes, and I'm, walking away, and another person, hey, can I talk to you about something? And we're talking to that person for another 30, 45 minutes to an hour. And then another, I probably was up there.
That's your job.
Close to 2, and it's my job.
Yeah.
I can't believe I get paid to do this. And I love doing it. But again, most officers they're just not comfortable with that. That's a personal thing. It's not anything.
See, we didn't have that in DeSoto, I don't think,
No.
back then. Because with us, and I don't know if Midlothian, John, you might know better than I do, but I remember driving through DeSoto as a kid. Oh, I'm getting pulled over. Oh, great, it's Wyndham. Wyndham, if you're out there, I love you, buddy.
Ours was
The fact that you know who it was means that you got
great,
pulled
it's
over
from.
enough.
Yeah.
ours was Egan.
Egan?
Egan.
Yep.
Oh God.
They're a good guy.
No, but
Not when you were in high school. He wasn't.
No, yeah. Yeah. And for those of y'all watching who don't know, they're growing up in DeSoto, and my previous and first agency was DeSoto. So, and you'd be surprised just where you're talking 20 minutes north of here, and it's a completely different world,
Right. It is.
It has its good parts. I'm not saying anything, I don't want to say anything negative about that, because I had a a lot of
Different is
wonderful
not
experience.
bad.
It's not
we
necessarily
had fun.
bad, but there's things that, we utilize here that I believe can be a prime example and a blueprint for any agency. I don't care what state you're in, or, wherever, you can look at what we do here and say, man, I want that. I want to do that.
When are you going to be on a trading card?
I have two of them.
You do? I
I have an officer one and I have Captain America one.
I only have Curtis's. It is on my my deep freeze.
Okay.
But
I've got
Right now-
I've got them in the truck.
perfect. I'll take one.
Because I think Chick-fil-A sponsors my officer one, and Marco's did Captain America.
Okay.
Well, speaking of trading cards and celebrity status, you've had the opportunity to
Ooh, yeah.
embark into movies, I guess.
We got to work on that IMDb, man. You got to remember
Working
how
on
to.
it.
How to
Tell us about that. Tell us how that started. Because we all saw you on Yellowstone. Did everybody see him on Yellowstone?
So
You got one or two more gigs coming up.
You can't talk about them.
No,
I can say this.
He
I've
can
got
say what he's been
About him, he
cast
can't say what it
for.
is.
I've got two more. One I already filmed. I guess it's been about 3 weeks ago now.
Well, back up. How did all this start?
Okay.
Lobo.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
talking with him, and this was probably at least a year ago, at his house, and we were talking about it, and he brought it up, and I thought, I think this is when they were filming. Matter of fact, it was when they were filming 1883,
Okay.
and just
A lot of
casually
that's around
talking.
here.
What's that?
A lot of 1883 around here.
Yes, and
like
I
literally-
love westerns. I grew up on westerns. My grandmother got me started on that, especially the old spaghetti westerns. The Clint Eastwoods and the John Wayne, and Tombstone is my all-time favorite movie. All time.
Mine too.
I probably watched that movie literally probably 50 times.
Mine's a little bit more modern, like 100 years.
Which one?
I said mine's a little bit more modern, like 100 years.
So we were talking and just kind of, casually talking, and I said, man, it'd be so cool to be in something, since I was a kid, I always wanted to be in a Western. I didn't necessarily want to be an actor or anything like that. I just want to be in a Western. I don't have to have a line. I just want to be in a Western. So he said, hey, you can create a profile, go to the site and, set it up. And he showed me the little demo deal, and I was like, okay, I'll keep that in mind. Months went by, and I was like, you know what? I think I might do this. So I got the information from him again, went in, signed up, did the premiere deal. My wife, who I'm gonna give her a shout out if I can.
Yeah.
Iron Sparrow Photography, she did a bunch of pictures and everything, so I got to upload those and create my own profile, which is essentially your resume. So you can pick what cities that you're nearby that you want to work in, or at least get notifications of work. And that was it. I created that, and I only think it was 48 hours when they started posting about Yellowstone. And it said Fort Worth. I'm like, Yellowstone and Fort Worth. Ended up being reshoots for a scene that they had filmed a couple of months prior in Montana. So I was like, heck yeah, I'll give it a try, Just looking for, something simple, fairgoers. Yeah, why not? Clicked on it, a couple of, maybe an hour or two later, hey, you're good to go. We'll you've been booked.
Next thing you know, you're
Holy cow.
You're a movie
being
star.
shot sitting next to
Movie star.
Casey in the main shot.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? That was all. I got out there and in this huge field, and they're setting everything up, and it's just remarkable to see all the moving parts and components, of all the people running around, all the, I think they call them the PAs that are coming around with
Production
phones.
assistants.
They've got their phones and they're running around, and I was like, why is everybody looking at their phone? And what they're doing is, since these are reshoots from a scene from elsewhere, they are literally making sure every single thing, from the hair on your head to the way you're positioned, little movements, everything is exactly the same as how it was prior. And I was like, oh my God, that's just amazing. So yeah, we were out there and, listening to all the extras, and, they've known each other from other works like 1883 and other stuff like that. And I'm just kind of odd man out.
Yeah.
Like, man, it was cool. Something interesting. It's out of my comfort zone. I said, you know what? It's something new I'm trying. Not like I'm trying to break into Hollywood, but it's something new, something different. And then, really by the grace of God, they started calling a couple people's names out. Like, if we call your name, that means you test positive for COVID, because they swab your nose when you get there.
Oh.
And they start calling a few people. They called, I think, 2 people, maybe 3. And about 10 minutes goes by, and the guy comes out, the main guy who's running the show out there, and he goes, I need Chris Douglas and some other guy, I think Eric something or another. And I was like, no, dang well I didn't test positive for no COVID.
Right.
I've been fine for years. No, really. So he brings us out there and he's like, hey guys, this is what's going on. Doing this reshoot, yada yada. I need you to go change. He points to me and he goes, the reason I'm gonna have you change is because what you're going to be wearing is what the original extra was wearing, and you're going to be next to the actor. And they don't elaborate any farther than that. So I was like, okay, cool. Should be pretty fun. So I go change and we go out there to the fairgrounds, and it's really weird because they have everything set up, all the concession stands, everything but the rides and the actual band. So they have like this stage set up, but there's nothing. They'll play some music just to kind of get you in the mood.
Right.
And then you have to pretend like you're watching this band. So when you're watching the episode, when you see the band, you see the actual rides, that was actually prior.
Right.
And then you see the other stuff, and like when you see me and, when I'm sitting next to them, we're just acting like we're watching, like, man, this band is awesome.
That's crazy how
it's
crazy how they couldn't get it right the first time, where they had to transport everything to Texas.
Well,
just to get a crowd shot.
Well, that was
I was
the
going
good
to say
thing.
something.
They
about that.
they already had everything set up here, so it was actually easier and less cost effective just having the actors come here.
Okay.
They already had the production
But
stage
why at
set
the
up.
end of every stinking episode does it say filmed in Montana when like 85% of it, I'm giving just a number, is
Yes.
in DFW?
Because that's how they. I'm just assuming they start most of it in Montana, and I think that's where they're. I would assume more of their.
And we need some go texting on that.
Obligations are
Right.
with those
Yeah.
states up
Probably
there.
the-
Well, I think somewhere in the credits you do see
It's
a
a
Texas.
logo though. Like
Yeah.
at the very end of every Yellowstone in 1883 episode, you see filmed in Montana, and it's like the picture of like the face, right?
And I'd be willing to bet
But-
a lot of that's going to change here with the
Yeah,
new
better.
shows that the same director's doing now that they've got all the stuff set up here.
Yeah,
He's based out of Weatherford. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're filming all over the place, and then it's no secret
Waxahachie.
they are filming courthouse stuff in Waxahachie. I read online.
Which I can only 'cause since I watch, I can only imagine what's happening. Like,
I can't wait till you get the cast for Tulsa King. Have you seen Tulsa
Man,
King?
you know what? We did. We just finished it, and we were like, and I like Sylvester Stallone.
That's
and I
an
was like,
incredible
yeah,
show.
we'll
Same
give it a
same
shot.
writer.
get into it. I can't get into it.
Are you kidding me?
Maybe
kinda
it's
slow
all
for Tulsa
3
King better than
episodes
What,
Yellowstone.
is it because Tom Cruise is in it playing Maverick?
No,
in it? I mean, come on.
no.
It was entertaining.
No, I
loved it.
I loved Top Gun, but like I'm not into the crazy. But
It's
no,
not crazy. The guy's a mobster,
No,
man.
Tom Cruise.
Oh,
He went
knows?
crazy ever since he walked
It's only
over
about our time. Maybe they'll get Taylor
couch.
Sheridan will get Tom Cruise on the show.
Hey, and maybe he won't be as crazy. He'll be sipping less Kool-Aid.
See,
Maybe he's worked the
that.
bridge a little bit more.
I think
Don't
he's
bring
kind of
the
calm.
crazy- don't bring the
I think
crazy
he's
to
calmed down
Texas.
since that stage of his life.
I don't know. Have you listened to Leah Remini's book?
No.
You should, because she was in Scientology from like the time she was little bitty, and then she talks about when they recruited Tom
Man,
Cruise.
I started watching
Like
that
they-
show that she did, and
Yeah.
I couldn't get past the first couple episodes.
Okay, the
It was
book is
just-
better, but
Okay.
because the TV show starts after the book. But like the book, she's talking about how they were recruiting Tom Cruise because he's a big name, and then he just like power hungry went over the edge.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's when he lost it. He was already a Scientologist before then, because Mimi Rogers.
All I can think
It's like,
of is that
actually, go back.
movie Central Intelligence where Jason Bateman goes, "Hey, I'm a Scientologist." That's funny.
Yes.
But
That's like your favorite movie. You watch that before you go to bed every night, don't you?
so USA Today Human Kindness Award.
Like, let's
That
circle back.
was a quick second.
Man, we couldn't even go to like Taylor Sheridan. We couldn't go to
No.
Tulsa King.
Well, because you're getting Scientology. Next thing you know, we're down a wormhole, and
I took it to Thetans. I asked him if he ascended the bridge yet. We're like, USA Today.
So I will say on the previous subject, there is another episode of something else coming out here in a couple weeks. I believe it airs on the 24th.
You
of Yellowstone.
okay? No,
I mean, of
Another show.
He
another
said
show that
he
you're-
said it, but
you're-
did you delete it? Because can we talk about what episode it was? Not what you did.
No, that's
We'll talk
something
about
he's
what
going to
episode.
film in the
something-
future.
In the future, this other show is not Yellowstone. It's another show.
Yeah, you weren't here for
Should-
that conversation.
Oh, yeah. It should air,
I can see you ignoring you.
I believe, at the end of the February. So
Okay, because you posted several things that you've been picked up for.
yes, and
Where's our
good
shark
advice.
board?
I deleted that stuff.
That's
Wait,
what
wait,
I
yeah.
asked.
Yeah.
Didn't want to get ahead of myself just in case, because I damn sure would be kind of foolish if
If it didn't go.
It, or yeah, we don't need that after all.
yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody,
But it's still fun stories, whether you got put on
my
like
button back.
tape or not. What?
I need my button back.
Hey, the Tiffany
Your
button.
button
I need
back.
the Tiffany button.
Whatever, I don't care.
Our fact checker.
Well, Justin will be here in a couple weeks.
Ain't
or
nobody
so.
might-
I get it. I quit.
Who bought that button? The Shut Up Rob button.
It was
Is that
Kaufman.
Justin Kaufman?
Justin, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, shut up, Rob button. We need that shut up, Rob.
It's over here in my coat.
Thanks a lot, Justin Kaufman. By the way, I want to officially announce my run for mayor against Justin Kaufman.
So, okay, so
Joking.
So Richard said that he was retiring. Did you see that? He put out a press release.
Oh, I didn't read it yet, but
I didn't read it. I saw the headline. I didn't clickbate it. Like
Okay.
it wasn't clickbait. I
Right.
know, but like,
So he's retiring. I think that's what he wanted to do
yeah, he waffled back and forth.
originally, but you know he's done his public service, and
Yeah.
we thank him for it. He's been a great mayor.
Service in a third.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't have, from what I understand. I mean, he's spearheaded the whole purchase of the Lawson building.
Yeah, wouldn't have video. Like wouldn't have a. I mean, there were several of us rallying behind it, but he was the swing vote for videoing the meetings.
Yeah,
Imagine what COVID would have been like
Without it.
without it. I mean, it was already a show.
Yeah.
and he messaged us.
You can say shit show.
It was a complete shit show.
Well, he messaged us after, and I think you were on it as well, maybe not. He messaged us after last week, after he watched last week's show, and said that he would come on, and he kind of answered a couple of the questions that.
Richard did?
No,
Or
this is Justin about the time frame of building the new city hall and.
Oh
police
yeah,
station
the groundbreaking is this week, and I can't go.
next week.
Oh right,
Yeah, he
whatever. I'm
did.
gonna
We
week
have two.
ahead.
So we
Yeah.
have two. We have our PD's groundbreaking.
It's the
is at
same
10 o'clock,
day.
and then 10:45 is the city.
It's like everybody, you pick up your chairs and move over here now.
Pretty much.
Well, since we have you here, Chris, what's the word on the time frame? When do you guys think? Are they saying 18 months? That's what I heard for
That's
city
what they
hall.
originally said.
Same thing for the PD. Me personally, I'll take that with a grain of salt. Just with the way everything is, especially with resources and materials and everything like that, and cost.
In these trying circumstances,
Yes.
unprecedented circumstances.
There you go.
I think there's some budget issues too.
18 months is always going. Is the run time right now. Me personally, I would always say add on a few months to that. So I would say closer to 2 years.
So
You know,
we've had
not that it's going to happen, but again, I have the mindset of hope and pray for the best, but expect and prepare for the worst
Absolutely.
type stuff.
Absolutely.
So we've had 3 years to get used to these unprecedented circumstances. Should we make the delays a drinking game? Every time there's a delay.
Hammered.
Yeah. That ain't
We'd
gonna
probably
work.
be in AA. I don't think that's a good idea.
My name's John, and I'm not ready to talk.
So, since last week, has anything developed in the upcoming elections? We know, Justin, obviously,
Ooh,
after
place 5.
Yeah, well, the very next day after our podcast release, that's
Yep,
the day
Justin-
that Justin announced.
He announced he went and he filed wearing Art's shirt
Oh, tell us about that.
and his jacket.
He went and filed wearing hearts.
What about
Yeah.
what about David Hurst?
Yeah, I don't know who he is.
Well,
Like,
there's
I
an-
feel
yeah,
like when I look
place-
at his
he-
face, I'm like, that looks familiar.
Is David Hurst?
David Hurst he's running for place 5. He's been here. All his
Is
kids.
he from DeSoto? Wasn't he the former mayor of DeSoto? Hurst, the funeral home director from
I
DeSoto.
believe.
Oh, wow. Is
I
that-
believe he raised all his kids here in Midlothian.
Okay, then it's not the same.
No,
I believe.
that guy.
Wait a minute. I just got a
I know who you're
Facebook
talking
request
about,
to
I'm
follow
trying to think.
somebody.
Right there on
Yeah, I
Hampton
got it.
Road.
On Hampton.
from
Yeah.
Meredith.
If it's the same guy I'm thinking, I don't think
he
he's
was the mayor
alive.
after Richard Rozier in DeSoto.
Perfect for place 5. He's not alive.
I might be thinking about a different person.
kidding.
I swear that person
Kidding.
isn't
Yeah,
alive.
yeah, okay. Well, then maybe just
I might
the
be
same
thinking
name.
wrong.
Okay, back to you. So,
too.
Oh,
who do we got? Who do we have? Who's next?
okay, I went to try to look at that before I got here, and Google failed me. So, okay, so the people that are up for re-election are Wayne, because he's like, think about it as a horn. Like just go around the horn. Wayne, Walter, Mayor.
That's
and
one,
then
two, three.
1, 2, well, 1, 2, Mayor.
Okay.
Mayor.
1, 2, Mayor. 1, 2, 3, Mayor. Wayne.
3 is not up for re-election.
Oh, no.
It's 1,
just,
2,
we're
Mayor.
talking spots. Okay.
Oh, yeah. 1, 2, Mayor, and then 5.
Our producer's
because-
correcting us.
Yeah,
hang on.
incorrectly.
David Hurst has lived here for 29 years, and all 4 of his children have graduated from Midlothian ISD.
Is he in the funeral home business?
I don't care how long you have lived here. Like, honestly, I do not care how long you've lived here. What I care about is what you're bringing to the table.
Well, here he is.
I mean,
Maybe you
I'm
should like
not
his
trying to be
page.
mean or rude, but
Okay.
like, that shouldn't be your resume.
A lot of people would say, you know, that have asked us, and again, I'm not endorsing people or anything like that, but I would say, and I think anybody can get behind this and respect it, is
I recognize his face.
you've got a lot of people that have lived here their entire lives, you know, their families
Tiffany,
lived
you're
here
a
their
mess.
entire lives,
I am.
but people immediately look at, okay, who are you and what have you done? How active are you? How, you know,
I'm talking about.
and
I don't care how long you've lived here, but I care what you've
how
done, what
involved
you
are- yes.
bring to the table. I'm gonna fix it. I promise.
I'm muting you until you're done.
Absolutely.
I-
done. It got around my arm.
He wasn't his partner in
So
the
this is why I
RFP
got
for the Lawson building,
confused.
is he? Remember when he
Yes.
was Taya's partner
yes,
for
he
the
was.
Lawson building?
Yes, yes.
Remember that?
Because I didn't go for. I didn't go to the RFP.
Yes, that's him.
So, yeah, stop. So like, I
He
get
was working with
confused
Taya for her RFP.
because this photo, he's got facial hair, which I realize is not. It's not supposed to be like bangs. Like suddenly time has passed, but. This photo, he's got facial hair, but his regular one, he doesn't. So I'm like, I don't recognize him here, but I feel like I kind of recognize him here.
Right. We met him
I've only met them one time
at
the city council.
Yep, the city council.
So that's not the Hurst we were thinking of.
No, absolutely not.
That guy at the time, and that was years
That's
ago.
him.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
No,
him.
I mean the guy he and I were
Yeah.
thinking of at the
Oh.
funeral
The
home.
DeSoto
Because
guy.
he was probably in his 60s back then.
You're right, you're right.
That was about
That's on the
10 years
same-
ago.
That's
Yeah.
the picture.
Yeah, it was. Okay, so he's
Those are
running
the
for
only
place.
two. Okay, so go around the
What
horn.
place is he running for?
5.
Place
He's
5.
playing. He's
Special election.
for place 5 to replace.
Vacated by this.
Okay,
That's what I was trying to say, yes.
and at the present time, he's
That
unopposed.
is definitely what I was trying to
So
say.
who are the other spots besides just
1 and 2 and Mayor. So it's Wayne, Walter, Mayor. Those are what are actually up for election.
But because
and
Justin
then
is,
he has to step down to run.
Right. Okay. So Wayne and Walter spot. That's the other two.
Yes.
Okay.
Wayne, Walter, and then
Got it.
Mayor.
And- yeah.
David is running for the vacated
5,
spot,
yeah.
which nobody else has announced for.
I don't know. I tried
When's
to
the
look
deadline?
before. It's like February something.
Those are the only.
Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to say that I've officially. No, I'm just kidding.
That would be fun. I tell you what, if you'll do it, I'll bankroll the whole thing.
Can't while you're city employed.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
If I did it for another city,
Here it
I could,
is.
but not.
It's the 3rd on Google. I do
I'll
not
bankroll
use
the whole
websites
thing
for-
as long as we can get it done for $200.
Oh, I knew Alan that was his big announcement. Shocker, Alan Mormon filed for place 1. Not a shocker at all.
And that's
There's-
Wayne's?
Yes. So Wayne has said for a long time that he would step down for anybody that was
I need
like,
our snack board.
go get
Charcuterie
it.
board. So,
Keep
I
talking.
mean,
so I'm. You know what? I think this is my time to announce my candidacy because I don't know. I'm not a supporter of Alan Mormon. Sorry. Not.
I'm not.
No.
I will say
no,
he's
no.
a good boy. He's a good boy. He's a good guy. He's a good boy. No, he's a good guy.
Give him a treat.
I will never say anything bad about him.
Alan's persistent. I like Alan.
He is persistent, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to
someone
say
does.
anything bad about him ever.
Alan's a cool guy. Listen, he called me up one day. I had got my mouth full, but
This is why we didn't bring these over here.
this is a casual show.
Real cash.
No, Alan's a cool guy. He's really big in the basketball league, right?
Yeah, he runs the league because both my kids have played in the league, which
call-
I'm very happy that there's a league that's affordable because it's affordable. You don't have to buy
Yeah.
a whole bunch of mess to play
And
in,
number two,
whether you
if you
support
can't
small sports or
afford
not.
to the fee, he'll figure it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
So there was one of the girls' basketball teams. There was a girl, and then he had found sponsors for a group of kids that needed help with the finances, and I had the opportunity to help out with some shoes for one of the girls, and that was a really cool experience and something to do.
nice.
Because I don't have daughters, man. I got two granddaughters, but
Sometimes they can run you ragged. I'm
yeah, so
I'm already.
yeah, it's cool to do that.
So like we've played the league the last 2 years, and we are not sports balls people. Like we are just not. Like both my children. I think that my daughter, like she's 7. I really think that her goal is to run from one side of the court to the other, because she'll stand outside the fray and be like, "Okay, guys, this way now." You're like, "Get the ball, baby! Like get the ball." But the funny thing from last week was she missed the pass, and then somebody caught it from her, and she went warrior screaming behind them the entire length of the court because she was just that pissed.
Wow. At least she's being active.
She's being active.
Speaking of daughters, how's your daughter doing?
She's
Everything
doing
good?
great. Actually, I just talked to her today, and
She graduated last year.
College, right?
she's in college now. It's
Yeah.
her first year. She because she took all those due credit courses, so she had her associates already and everything. So even though she's in just now, she just went back to school last week. So for her second semester, she's already classified as a junior.
Right.
Oh, which is when it gets real. Like the associates crap. I was so bored. I nearly
kicking
flunked.
Ass. I mean, between that
Yeah.
and her ROTC program. So she called me today and she's like, I've got a great birthday gift for you. It's news about me. I'm like, hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. So she's doing great. Her grades are phenomenal. But she's really been excelling with the ROTC program. So she's in the ROTC program. She's committed to the school for 3 years. Even though she'll have her bachelor's long before that, she'll go ahead and start her master's. I believe late this summer, before the fall, right when the fall semester starts this year, she'll actually sign her contract for the Air Force.
That's the Air Force. That's been the goal.
That's her goal. We didn't push her one way or another, even though my wife and I are both, Air Force. That was all her doing. She's had this plotted out her plan for years. I mean, that kid's so mature and so advanced, damn well beyond what I was at that
What is
age.
she going to do in the Air Force?
Attorney. She wants to be a lawyer.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
So
Gotta be proud about that.
That's what I wanted to
absolutely.
do.
So
And I was like, I'm not signing
she
my life
used
away.
my Hazelwood, so I'm not having to pay for college. So we're just paying for her dorm fees and everything like that on campus. Getting used to it.
Is that in Colorado?
No,
No,
she's
she
in
has to
San
be in
Antonio.
Texas.
She's at
San Antonio.
UTSA.
Hazelwood, she has to be in Texas, and he has
Because
been born in Texas.
because I'm a Texas veteran, the state will pay for it. We'll pay for
100%
my college.
Where's the headquarters of the Air Force Academy? Is that
That's in Colorado.
in Colorado, right?
Yes.
I just remember when Kiefer was touring
That's in Colorado Springs. Yeah.
Tim Roberts' son was touring to figure out who was going to go play
got you.
football for. I remember them going to Colorado, the Air Force Academy.
Yeah, so she was in
think that's where he went.
in the bottom third when she started. I mean, she's only been there one semester. She had a meeting with her major today, and she just found out she is in the top 1/3.
Oh, nice.
And I can't remember everything she told me because there was just so much information. But out of God, I don't know how many people that are involved in the ROTC program as far as the students. When they're ranking them and sending it up, for different awards to scholarships to all kinds of things. She came in number 2. She just found out today. So
That's awesome.
I'm super
You gotta be
proud of that
really
kid.
proud, yeah.
Oh God, that's an understatement. Yeah, we're super proud of that kid.
She
Excellent.
coming in town this weekend?
She won't be back again till spring break.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
March.
we'll see her though.
Hey,
I think
but that
we're going
means-
down there next month.
That means next year you may not be paying dorm fees.
God, I hope.
I know Bo's going to be here this weekend. He's coming back for 14 days. 'cause
That's
he
awesome. I
he
saw
He jumped out of an
I was
airplane.
going to say, you jumped out of a perfectly good
You're
airplane.
about to jump out of a perfectly good
He
airplane.
graduated top 10 of his class.
Okay.
So they gave him 14 days free leave, so it doesn't go against his leave
Heck
time.
yeah.
So he's a mom and coming home. So
Yeah.
we canceled our trip to Vegas
Okay.
so we could be here for him. So
When's it get here?
Friday, midnight.
Tomorrow midnight or next Friday. Tomorrow night.
So Saturday morning.
Friday.
Tomorrow is Friday, but it is hours from midnight. So it would be Saturday technically.
Technicalities, you guys.
Okay.
I know. I'm just helping him out though because he's getting a little confused.
So obviously the big thing for our city this weekend is your birthday party. I mean, that's just, it is what it is.
I think we should make it a
Block rocker.
citywide holiday.
No, I mean, that's,
It should. It should be Officer Chris Douglas Day. So we have a parade
It
down the
pretty-
street.
it pretty much
everything.
is.
Just Captain
Yeah,
Texas Day.
Captain Texas Day.
what else do we
That's like
got?
Stephen F. Austin or something.
What else did, and
It's
this
not
is
Captain Texas. He's Captain.
He said
Officer
Captain-
for America. So it should be Officer for America Day.
Okay, that's fair. He's a Captain Texas.
Well,
I'm just to be.
All
I just
schools, all
repeated it.
banks should be
this
closed.
how
for
y'all feel with
Day.
me?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Is this how you guys feel with me?
What?
I'm trying to talk, not just playing.
Oh hell.
No, listen. So I guess my question was, so we've got your birthday this weekend. What's on the calendar of the next few weeks coming up? Saw something about a winter
I know
walk.
the
What do you guys? Yeah, mayor.
next week we've got obviously the PD groundbreaking.
Oh right.
We've
Which I
got
can't get to.
the city groundbreaking. Both of those are on the same day, February 2nd, 10 and 10:45.
If they had just not picked the day that my kid has to go to the endocrinologist, then I would be there for both of them.
I think we need to elect a city
So
council
you're
that's a little bit
taking
more
Uber?
sensitive to your
Yeah, I
schedule.
know, right? No, they don't pay, they don't provide that until they're like 16.
Oh,
I know. Something insulin, something my pancreas doesn't work.
What else do we got coming up? I got word from my producer over here.
18th is,
Winter walk, February 18th.
Which nobody ever goes to because it's usually cold as hell.
We haven't introduced our producer.
No introductions necessary.
Mr. Shy over there.
You know, you gotta leave some things to mystery.
Right.
But
Anybody who can guess who our producer is, gets a paid spot on the show. In other words, they have to pay us to be here.
paid spot.
They have to supply the charcuterie board for the next show.
Oh my god, apparently it's not a rumor. I haven't looked it up yet. Don't get me triggered.
Okay, so apparently
Welcome to the segment of the show called Triggered Tiffany.
they're going to lower the speed limit on 663.
Okay, did anybody look it up where? Because when you go to Midlothian Mirror, it's 2 sentences and then a paywall, and I haven't pulled up the packet yet.
Stop.
I don't pay for that.
I'm either.
We have not talked about the potential of a 4-day.
Oh my god, we'll be here.
When we talk about trending topics, we forgot about the most trending topic of the week, which is the survey that Midlothian ISD sent out to the parents to give feedback on a potential 4-day school week.
Oh, with no notice to the board? What? No
This
notice
just
to
in.
the board.
No notice to the board. It happens. So who's in control of the communications for MISD?
Ooh, we're not going there. That is a rabbit hole. Don't step in that hole. Don't step in that hole.
That's for Submit City Chatter After Dark.
That's an after dark.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show.
Why?
sure it's the communication,
It's Sherry Brazil, is what he's saying.
but I don't know that that would be the person.
She may not have been.
Okay, so we're not going to name them because we're not 100% sure.
We like to have a fact checker.
fact checked.
He's employed by Meta.
Is over there.
But from what I understand, this is something that the actual teachers are advocating for.
Yeah, there have been several
right?
teachers that have stepped up and said, please. Okay, so everything I've read said, full disclosure, I'm not a teacher. Full disclosure, I don't have a child in this school district. My only dog in this fight are my tax dollars. Thank you very much. But my cousin is a math teacher in Oklahoma. Take that with how you will. I know it's Oklahoma. But he's been doing a 4-day school year for 3 or 4 years now and loves it as a teacher because that 5th day he uses as planning without having to interrupt his own life.
So they send out a survey.
Yep.
Hypothetically speaking, 60% feedback is for a 4-day week. Then what happens next? Do they draw up kind of a petition, and does it go in front of the board, and then the board decides?
I think the board still decides whether or not. Okay, so hold on. Here's one thing.
What are families going to do on that 5th day?
My household won't.
sudden
My
death.
household is, as for my household, they're
Teachers
pro.
are not a babysitter. I swore I wouldn't say it. Jesus.
They are
save
though.
me.
They are.
I mean, yeah.
I'm sorry, but that is daycare for
Okay.
many families, especially
For
families that
many-
can't afford daycare.
Many families. I
They're
will
not
say, I
babysitters,
see
that's
both.
for sure.
They're not
No, I
babysitters.
understand that,
It
but-
has become that, is what you're saying.
I was a latchkey kid, so it was cool for me to be home. But you cannot keep your kids at home any day because
you can actually freaking keep them at home.
Karen, the neighbor, is going to call and call CPS on you.
Oh, that's for sure.
Guys, we have community crime prevention and outreach.
Right, Chris is going to
the best
he's
of
going to
the
be
best.
he's just going to
in
run the
our
childcare
town.
for all of them. That's that is
mean,
it. We're just going to go to Captain America's house. All of them go there.
I'm here as a private resident.
Now you're shaking your head over here like I want nothing to do with this. I got no.
You know what?
You know what? So
Your wife, your wife's
Here's the
a
thing.
part of our.
And she's the one who told me about it, because she works, she's an employee
Hey,
with the
switch it out.
district. I think it's going to be one of those, it's going to be a win-lose situation, no matter what your opinion or your perspective on it is.
Nobody's
You know,
winning in this.
There's no real winner.
Kobayashi Maru.
I can understand from both sides. I can understand. I look at it. You look
Okay,
at the
that's nerdy.
society we're in nationwide and the extreme
Can't do it
lack
again.
of teachers that we have right now nationwide. With all the teachers that they've hired just in our school district, we're still short, from my understanding. So
Not
I'm
doing that,
grateful
dude.
for the teachers that we do have. I'm grateful for what everybody that they did hire. And I can definitely understand, hey, if a 4-day work week alleviates so much stress and saves them time and effort and whatever the case may be, by giving them that 5th day for just them to take care of what they need to, I totally understand it. I like the idea and everything like that. But then again, on the flip side of that coin, I can see now I've only got one kid left in the school district. Everybody's situation is a little bit different. Mine, I'm not so concerned with as far as, I don't need a babysitter kind of deal, but
There's going to be people on all sides. There are going to be people like you.
You're going to be people who are letter 4, and you're going to be people, again, you're damned if you, damned if you don't.
You are.
situation.
Like
You know what I mean?
you're gonna have
life.
people like you that like everybody's old enough and it doesn't matter. You're gonna have people that have youngins but can make it work,
Yes.
whether they are paraprofessionals, full professionals, or just working from home in some capacity, whether it be on their house or from their house. Or you're gonna have those people that are like, I'm pulling 70 hours a week
Yes.
just to make ends meet, and I can't make ends meet, and I got a 5-year-old in kindergarten.
Exactly. And it may be hey, majority rules. I don't know how they're going to do this. The whole topic is foreign to me. It's new to me. It was just brought to my attention. So again, kind of looking at it objectively from an aerial view to say, okay, let me look at it from all sides, look at all the pros, all the cons, that I can see, and say, okay, I can understand this argument, and this argument. And again, I can easily see the powers to be, whoever it is, to say, hey, majority's going to rule in this situation. This, 80% of this vote, or this vote works for 80% of the population here, and for the better.
Right.
Sorry for the other 20%.
Yeah, I don't believe it's going to happen anytime soon.
It may or may who knows
It won't,
Palmer?
because
We
let
didn't
me-
know Palmer
I
would
know,
do it.
But let me tell you what's going to happen. And I have reason to believe this is how the current board is going to think about this. If their concern is test scores dropping and whatnot, that the school board itself pays attention to the numbers, where they're at. If they're going to wait and see what happens with Palmer, and they're going to see how this works in a year, So it's not going to happen in a year, 2, maybe 3, perhaps. That's what I believe. 'Cause
Okay,
I think
so-
they're going to watch and see how this
the
plays
real
out
story-
in other cities.
The real story that every single person here is missing is the way that Midlothian sends out these surveys on Google Forms. You can literally vote 10 times as you, just like it's American Idol, and you're picking up the phone 800 style and spending 10 cents a time. You can send it to people outside of here. Until Midlothian sends out a real survey, not on Google Forms, they're not going to get real numbers, so who cares?
Okay,
So
so
you just showed your age by saying 800 style.
okay, so what I'm gonna do,
900, 800, 900, whatever.
so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to set up a Friday daycare service, and then I'm gonna be a bot. I'm a bot.
Oh, are you chat GPT? You're just going to
And
teach
I'm gonna be
them
that guy who
chat
does it.
GPT.
I'm going to write a macro that's going to vote. Before you know it, it's got 1 million votes, and I've got a Friday daycare service.
Okay, that sounds
Cement
good.
City Daycare?
There it is.
I dropped my kid off there.
Rob's going to be the daycare teacher.
He's gonna be the one that's gonna be like, get in the back of the truck,
Wow.
kids. They're going over here.
Vocational training.
Vocational training. It's vocational training.
I could be a
Oh,
teacher.
JT.
Hey, we teach every third Sunday at children's church. My wife and
There
I.
you go.
Hey, you get out of line. We do push-ups for Jesus.
Hey,
Jesus.
We're going to have change of oil on Harleys over here.
be on
But
that.
it's clean. I said that this oil's
Get that
already
clear wrap
clean.
put on there, yeah.
There's bubble in it. Take that off, start over.
Man, guys, smooth it out. I said smooth it out. That'd be fun. That'd
I'm a
be
bot.
fun. Well, I tell you what, man, it's
I
all.
thought we should have all of them just sitting up in front of Chat GPT. They would learn so much.
Yeah, man, it's always a pleasure, Chris, when you come on this show.
I appreciate it.
I tell you what, you are really something
This is spicy.
here in our community, man.
It's
When
spicy,
it
isn't it?
comes
Earl
to,
Campbell.
and I personally appreciate everything you do.
I
It's
appreciate that. Thank you.
definitely an inspiration. You deserve the USA Today Human Kindness Award that you were awarded with this year. That's for sure. Everybody, Saturday. Hang on, let me get this right.
Oh, wow. Well, you're going to have everybody there. You better be a community officer now because you're about to have a community party.
The place to be this weekend. Check your invites. If you're there, you're there. If not, you're gonna have to be like on the outside of the VIP. I'm VIP, so I'll be there. But
Yeah, you have to get past my wife and our friend.
exactly.
Ooh,
They're
who's
the
running
bouncers.
who's running the security?
But between now,
They got
and the end of the
My
week,
mother will be there, and that's all the security you need.
Okay.
between now and the end of the week, if you see Captain America, Officer Chris Douglas out, buy him a cup of coffee, take a selfie with him, and put it on Cement City Chatter Podcast page.com, and we'll enter you into a drawing for
Pay to be here.
30. I'll put up a $30 Starbucks gift card or something. So
nice.
And I tell you what, when you shake his hand at the party, slip him a $100 bill.
If you see the truck, I would say this too. Take your last little bit pictures with that because
what's happening?
The wrap's going away.
Oh, yeah. Wait, are you changing to a different
Are you
wrap
buying a
or
new
getting
truck?
it?
Not right now. It's starting to crack and peel in too many places, and I'm not gonna
Then you're
tolerate
pushing
that.
truck.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have it removed after March. Some fundraiser stuff for March is going on with it. So after that, I'm gonna.
I was going to ask you, like, if you had any new, like, character plans, because I know you like to cosplay beyond just Cap.
I'm the Mandalorian now.
I know, yeah, I know. And you have Batman, too, right?
ooh, a
Or you sold
Mandalorian
Batman.
sounds
You sold
cool.
Batman.
I used to have. Yeah, I sold it. I
well,
outgrew
Hughes
it.
is doing the Batman thing, doesn't he?
He's got the classic light blue Batman. So yeah, but his is a little bit different just because that's more for city functions.
Because you had, like, Dark Knight.
I had the what do you call it, the Ben Affleck, the Batfleck
Batfleck.
version. Yeah. So
So real quick, when I went to Disney World this past Christmas, I took my kids to Star Wars deal, and they literally made legit
Lightsabers?
lightsabers.
Lifesavers.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man.
awesome.
So we have dark and light side on the side. Like we've made them both. Like, so my son made the light side and my daughter made the dark side. We've got them on our mantles. So
that's
which
cool.
it totally fits both of their personalities. She will rule the world
Fits
and
both of your
possibly
personalities, too.
Either that or a prison gang. I'm not sure which yet.
too early to tell.
Fits both your personalities, too.
It's fine. No, that's fine. I get it. It's fine.
Well, until next week, Midlothian, we love you here at Cement City Chatter Podcast. Peace.